Jake Paul's last fight took place at 200 pounds, and Gervonta Tank Davis is the champion at 135 pounds. So despite a 65-pound difference, Jake Paul apparently is going to be facing Gervonta Davis November 15th at the State Farm Arena, Atlanta, Georgia. It's an exhibition on Netflix, according to Mike Coppinger. Some think the fight's a blatant money grab, people calling it a circus exhibition. Others intrigued how it will unfold. Some give Jake credit for taking on a proven, dangerous boxer, while others criticize him for taking on someone so much smaller than him. Overall reaction is disbelief, criticism, excitement, a mixture of everything. As far as what weight it may take place at, when Floyd Mayweather faced Jake's brother Logan Paul in an exhibition, Mayweather couldn't weigh more than 160, while Logan Paul was capped at 190. Would expect something similar for exhibition rules for the weigh-in here. For the weigh-ins, Mayweather ended up weighing 155, and Logan was 189.5 pounds. Finally, Jake Paul fights someone from this millennium, and he's 5'5". Ah, yes, Tank definitely isn't ducking any of the top guys. 70-pound weight difference is crazy work. Tank is 5'5", Jake Paul 6'1". Last weigh-in, Tank Davis was 133.8 pounds, whereas Jake Paul was 199.4 pounds. 30 years old for Tank, 28 years old for Jake Paul, 67-inch reach for Tank Davis, and 76-inch reach for Jake Paul. Lamont Roach says that Tank Davis is ducking y'all. He says, I told y'all, he's a duck. Ryan Garcia thinks that Jake Paul wins. Jake wins. He's a heavyweight. Boxing is officially the WWE with Gervonta versus the Jake Paul fight. A heavyweight fighting a lightweight, and you're supposed to believe it's a fair fight. If you know anything about boxing, you can see it's a disgrace. A couple months back, Jake Paul was talking about this fight, and he was talking about expecting to weigh 195 pounds for it.
If you do fight, what weight would it be at?
195.
Oh, wow. So he would go all the way from 40 to 95?
Yeah, I mean, it would be an exhibition.
Okay. But, and so what does that mean? Is that 3-minute rounds?
Yeah, 10 3-minute rounds.
And when you say exhibition, like, what are the restrictions on that?
No restrictions, just the fact that, like, we couldn't actually get it professionally sanctioned.
The official Netflix account of Turkey said who will win Jake Paul versus Tank Davis live on November 15th exclusively on Netflix. So confirming the fight, but then they deleted it. The UFC Fight Night Rio card on October 11th adds a bantamweight contest between Montel Jackson and Deiveson Figueiredo. Huge opportunity for Montel Jackson. He's number 15. Figgy is number 6, so he can move up 9 spots to number 6 position if he can get the win. We'll see if it's too big of a step up in competition for Montel taking on a former champ like Deiveson Figueiredo, but there's a lot of people backing Jackson in this fight. They feel with his power and skills he can win this fight. He's won 6 in a row, coming off a win over Daniel Marcos by decision. Figgy, on the other hand, is coming off a loss to Corey Sandhagen, and some people are surprised to see him coming back so quickly because he injured his knee in that fight, so a lot of people thought he'd be out for longer, but he is back at UFC Fight Night Rio, October 11. Some of the other fights recently added to the card are Luque versus Ponzinibbio at 170. You have a heavyweight contest between Petrino and Peterson, another heavyweight contest between Deniz and Pinto, Polastri Kovacevic, Filho, Carpenter, Rocha, and Nickel. The main event is Fiziev versus Oliveira. The UFC Rio card is also looking to add Nazim Sadov. Apparently Nazim Sadov versus Renato Moicano is what the UFC is looking to do October 11. Nazim says he accepted a fight with Moicano 4 days ago, but he hasn't heard back. Maybe the reluctance from Moicano is he's taken on an unranked guy who's really tough. He's ranked number 11. It's a good opportunity for Nazim, though. It is interesting for Moicano. He was fighting for the belt not too long ago, just a few months back, and now he's getting lined up with an unranked fighter, but he's coming off a loss to Beneil Dariush, where he started to look pretty lethargic by round 2, and he dropped the unanimous decision in that one. On the other hand, Nazim Sadov is undefeated in his last 12 fights, coming off a crazy fight with Nicholas Mota. That's going to be a Fight of the Year contender. They threw everything at each other for the entire fight until finally Nazim got the stoppage towards the end of round 2. If Sadov and Moicano fight, Sadov, if he can stop the takedowns, he'll probably win because his striking is at a much higher level and he's really dangerous with his knockout power. RDR and Anthony Fluffy Hernandez headline UFC Vancouver on October 18th. Sean Brady says this was my main event. He says he was supposed to headline that card against Ian Gary, but apparently Ian Gary didn't take that fight. I don't know why he wouldn't be a good opportunity for Gary, because Brady is number 2 and Gary is number 6. A chance for him to move up 4 spots in the ranking and come close to title contention. Gary would have the striking edge. Brady would have the wrestling and grappling edge, but Gary was able to contend with Shavkat Rakhmonov's takedowns and submission attempts pretty well, so not sure why he didn't take the fight with Brady if that was the case. Also, Ian Gary is willing to take short notice fights against tough opponents like Rakhmonov,
So I got a call from my manager right around International Fight Week, so at the end of June time frame, about me and Ian fighting in Chicago. I said yes. Didn't hear anything for weeks. I'm assuming the UFC moved on. Recently, they hit us up. They said, me and Ian, main event in Vancouver. I said yes immediately. Immediately. Yes, let's go. I've been wanting to fight since May, and these were the only ones I've been offered. Said yes twice. Now, I don't know why Ian's fucking was dragging his feet or whatever he was doing. And now they put in RDR and Fluffy. So now, once again, we're sitting and waiting. So, thanks, Ian. Just lost another main event because of you, my man.
The UFC needs to announce some welterweight matchups because none of these guys have officially announced any matchups yet. Jack Della Maddalena is expected to take on Makhachev in November, but they haven't announced it. Bilal's coming off the loss to JDM. Brady beat Leon Edwards in his last fight. Shavkat beat Ian Gary in his last fight. Usman beat Buckley. Gary beat Prates. Morales beat Burns. Buckley beat Colby Covington. And Prates is coming off a win over the weekend over Jeff Neal by KO, causing him to move up 3 spots in the rankings.
What's up, guys? Just got a package delivered from Blessed Max Holloway, the man himself. And it's actually my retirement fight, the gloves he beat me up with. We're going to be auctioning these off for the Good Fight Foundation. And with whatever we raise, we'd love to do something back in Hawaii. You guys have a great champion, a great person. Max, you're the man. Appreciate you.
Arman Sarukian recently met up with the UFC bosses, he says, and they were talking about him fighting in Abu Dhabi October 25th or November 22nd in Qatar, so either October or November. He says it could be Justin Gaethje, it could be Dan Hooker, or it could be Paddy Pimblett. All those guys are below Arman in the rankings. Arman's number 2, whereas those guys are 5, 6, and 7. Gaethje 5, Hooker 6, Paddy 7. Gaethje is adamant about getting a title shot. Paddy Pimblett would also like a title shot against Ilia Topuria. Dan Hooker is actually down to fight Arman Sarukian. They don't like each other. They got a beef, so maybe they'll settle in the cage. Arman would be the favorite in that one. I think he'd just take him down and control him from there, but I kind of thought the same thing would happen against Gamrot versus Hooker, and it didn't necessarily pan out that way. Hooker won a split decision.